the biggest crisis of my entire life, and only my mother would actually believe that I go shopping at the boutique.
My dear, you were very convincing.
Thank you. Not bad for being on 2 hours sleep. Now, where is his secretary?
There's no time to be announced. Phoebe is more suspicious than Bitsy. They'll track us down if we're not back within the hour. I'll go and guard the door.
Thank you, Uncle Langley.
Well, I guess they had to pick the coffee beans themselves. It's about time you got here. I only called down about 45.
Hi, Jack. Nico and I are in desperate straits. I really need
Jack,
you.
is our breakfast here yet?
Oh, sorry. Bad timing.
David. Sorry I startled you. How you feeling?
I've been beat up worse. Yeah, I'm sorry about what happened to your mother. I'm sure it was a shock to you.
Yeah.
You and I haven't always seen eye to eye, but you gotta know I cared a lot about Marissa.
Well, that's why I'm here.
Oh?
I need a deposition from you. My father and Natalie are claiming that my mother planned the whole thing just to break up Jeremy. A lot of crud. And I need you to sign a statement saying that that was not true.
I can't do that.
You can't do that, or you won't do that.
What your father is telling you is the truth. Marissa planned the whole thing. She's guilty as sin.
Long night. Don't ask, right? Don't talk, don't do anything.
Fine. Show me the paper and hand me the phone. I got some business to take care of. Where's the Nico? I'm not... Nico, I'm serious. I got some stuff to take care of. No, you don't. I'm gonna start charging you for office space and utilities, all right? Bones in the lobby.
What are you talking about? I pay you plenty. Yeah, what about all the well-heeled customers I drag in this dirt?
Does that include me?
No. Forget it. Nico's acting like a tool. Come on, sit down. Walk into my office here. I want to ask you something.
What's ever cooking up in that devious mind of yours? I want no part of it.
I got a favor to ask you. Personal favor.
See you later.
No, come on. Sit down. Seriously, it's not for me. It's for Dixie.
I should have guessed.
She's been having a hard time since the baby was born.
Well, haven't we all?
I mean, she's depressed and she's uncertain, and then she needs a friend at court.
So?
So, what I was thinking is maybe, you could, well, I know it's a lot to ask, but, could you make up with your father and, like, move back into the homestead? That way you could keep an eye on each other.
See, last night I was sure as anything that Adam Jr. had been taken. I really carried on something awful. But then when Adam and I went upstairs, look at his crib, he was there. He was fine, safe and sound. And then, this morning,
I'm right here with you, darling. Tell Dr. Fowler what happened this morning.
Adam found Adam Jr. in his tub by himself. I guess I put him in there, but the thing is I don't remember putting him in his tub or filling up the bath or anything. You gotta help me. You gotta tell me what's the matter, because I don't want to hurt my son. I would rather die first.
Well, you're overstressed from the kidnapping, and,
You don't have to pussyfoot around with us, Doctor.
Yeah, just tell me. Just tell me straight out.
well, the episodes that you're describing could indicate many things.
If it's serious, say so.
Mrs. Chandler, your symptoms could be potentially dangerous.
Are you saying that maybe sometime down the line I might hurt my own little boy?
Or even herself?
Yes, I'm afraid that is what I'm saying.
God.
All My Children, brought to you by Secret Antiperspirant, strong enough for a man, but pH balanced for a woman.
How long am I going to be this way?
Well, that's hard to say.
Well, that's a hell of an answer.
Well, the problem is that your wife has been suffering with this condition longer than most women do.
Please tell me how I can get myself out of this as fast as possible.
Well, that might be a slower process than you'd like. I recommend that you start by finding a good therapist. I could refer you to several people.
No, thank you. I don't think a therapist is good. It just takes too long. Isn't there something maybe I could take, maybe, or do right now?
There's several excellent antidepressant drugs, but the problem is that we found that medication is of limited value without the therapy.
I don't hold much stock with psychiatry, Peter.
Well, you asked for my recommended treatment. That's the best available.
Well, what about my minister? I mean, I could talk to my minister. I mean, he's always been a comfort to me.
Pastoral counseling would be a start.
And I could get a nanny. I mean, Adam always thought a nanny would be a good idea.
Darling, you said you didn't want any help.
Well, you know, I mean, a nanny could, you know, look out for me and the baby at the same time until I got better.
That's an excellent idea.
I am not going to let this thing get me. I mean, I have my family. I'm going to fight until it's gone.
Sweetheart, that's the spirit, and I will help you in every way I can.
Oh, you're sweet. I am so lucky to have such a wonderful husband.
I hope you'll feel free to call me if you have any more questions, Mrs. Chandler.
Thank you. And thank you for coming all the way down here. I mean, I know with doctors all your time, it's very valuable. Thank you.
Yeah, I'll walk you out, Peter.
Your wife doesn't seem nearly as depressed as you described. I really think that...
I can't thank you enough for what you've done. And, perhaps that the new research grant that I arranged will help you in your work. You're a fine scientist, Peter. A good man and a good friend. Thank you. I hope you're not going to let that depress you, darling, or upset you.
I don't know, Adam, I was sort of thinking about, well, maybe a psychiatrist is a good idea.
Nonsense. Absolute nonsense. Postpartum depression is a temporary thing. It's certainly going to go away before you need any mumbo-jumbo from a quack like Dr. Gould. I personally think that your idea about a nanny, it makes much more sense. Chandler residence.
This is Brooke English's secretary. I'd like to speak with Adam Chandler, please.
Yes, this is he.
You wanted me to tell you when Miss English arrived. She's in the office now and in a meeting.
Thank you very much. I'll be there immediately. Goodbye. Darling, I'm afraid I have to go back to the office. I hate to leave you.
It's okay. I mean, I understand.
Good. I'll be back as soon as I can. In the meantime, I want you to put all thoughts of psychiatrists out of that pretty little mind of yours. God never made a more sensible woman than you.
You're sweet, but Adam, I think...
Sometimes I wonder if psychiatrists know what they're doing in the first place. Look what happened to Sky. Months she spent in therapy with Gould at Oakhaven. Didn't do her much good, did it? I'll be back soon.
But my father and Dixie are man and wife, and I think that this is their problem. You should butt out.
Can't.
What is the attraction? You knock heads with my father. You're beaten up and hospitalized for her. You risk being thrown in jail to save her baby. What is her fatal charm, Tad?
I can't resist a challenge.
She's got no money. She's uneducated. Her social skills consist of baking biscuits and listening to country music and cooing over the newest addition to the Chandler family.
We're getting a little jealous, aren't we?
Jealous? I am not jealous of Dixie. Dixie is a throwback to the women's movement and everything it's trying to accomplish for the past year.
So move in and help set her free.
No. No, I can't do that. I'm up to here trying to get my own liberation.
Just think about it.
No. No, I have all my own plans for my life.
Don't be so selfish.
Sorry, Tad, it runs in the family. Now I've got to go.
Come on, honey, listen. I wouldn't ask you, after everything you've been through, unless I was desperate. I'm begging you, please.
Dixie will be fine. She's got you. That's more than most women dare to dream about.
What's that, some kind of backhanded compliment?
Yes. But it's also a warning. Get over this obsession with my father's wife. You can't win. She loves him. She loves him for better, or more likely for worse. Goodbye, Dad.
Bye, honey. Nico! Give me the damn phone.
So that's it. Nico will be charged with fraud. We'll be divorced. But see, now we don't want to be divorced.
You mean to tell me that you and Nico have been married all this time, living together, and haven't consummated the marriage?
Never.
Unbelievable.
Well, I'm not saying I'm proud of it, Jack. It's just that when we first got married, it was strictly business. We just did it for the money, and then our emotions got into it.
Excuse me, I'm sorry.
I'm sorry about this. Look, if it hadn't been an emergency, I would have walked out right back out that door.
Oh, no, that's okay. I know you got big, big problems.
Is that so?
Sally, I'm sorry about this. I'll make it up to you as soon as I can, okay? Bye. Back to business. You sure you give me all the facts I need?
Yes. How can Nico beat this rap?
Well, Cecily, it's not quite that easy.
Well, why? We didn't rip anyone off. It's my money. Who cares how I got it? Jack, what's the worst they could do to us?
Well, if you both admit you're guilty, the worst they could do is send you to prison.
Wrong answer.
Will there be anything else, Mrs. Wallingford?
I don't believe so, thank you, Sarah.
The criminal proceedings against Mr. Kelly can begin as soon as we're finished in civil court. There are no legal loopholes for him to use. You got him.
Let's just hope that the courts put him in jail until he's too old to seduce any other young heiresses.
I'll be in touch with you later today about the divorce papers.
I'll walk you to the door.
Mrs. Wallingford, now you can fire me if you want to, but I can't stay in this house another minute unless I speak my mind.
Well, whatever it is, dear, can't it?
What? Do you have any idea how those two young people are suffering because of what you're doing to them? They love each other.
Cecily does not love Nico. She is just completely overwhelmed by his animal magnetism. She's an innocent who's been completely taken
I beg your pardon, Mrs. Davidson. Cecily is a young woman who married her closest friend. Maybe for the wrong reason, but in the middle of everything that they did wrong, they really and truly fell in love. And now they want to stay married for the right reasons. Seems to me that changes everything. At least it should.
Mrs. Valentine, you don't know what you're talking about.
That child has poured her heart out to me.
What, my daughter?
Well, she's a very sympathetic listener, I know.
If you want Cecily to be happy, drop the legal charges and let them start new.
No, look, dear, it hurts us to have to pull the veil from Cecily's eyes and make her see the reality of the man she's been consorting with. But it's what is known as tough love.
Cecily loves Nico, and I know he loves her.
Now that is where you are wrong, because he has cheated on my daughter with Sky Chandler. He's confessed to that.
Look, legal charges have to be brought against Nico. That's really out of our hands.
That poor child's heart is going to be broken.
It is for her own good, isn't it, Phoebe?
I certainly hope so, whether she likes it or not.
I mean, once she looks at the evidence against Nico, she'll know he's exactly the same as Sean Cudahy.
Jack, will you take the case? Will you represent us?
Cecily, I already have. Now, I want you to have a seat. You're about to have your first lesson in what constitutes fraud. First of all, trust funds like yours are set up to protect the individual from themselves. Excuse me.
That's Nico. I called him and I asked him to meet us over here.
I hadn't even taken the case.
Well, I knew you couldn't resist something this unique.
Hello, Nico. Come on in.
How you doing, Jake?
Okay. I was telling Cecily, when you two signed that marriage certificate in order just to get your hands on her trust fund and then pretended to everybody that there was a real marriage, you committed fraud. Now, you see, the courts are responding. I don't know why the hell I'm going through this. Nobody's listening to me. Excuse me.
We're listening.
We're listening. What can we do about this now?
Well, if I were you, I'd deny everything, admit nothing, and let the burden of proof be on the other party.
It's a little too late for that.
Oh, I'm going to hate the answer to this question, I'm sure, but go ahead.
Nico
Why?
admitted he was guilty last night.
I don't believe this, Nico. Well, what happened to all these street smarts that you supposedly had?
I fell in love.
Oh, do I have to get a bucket of cold water? Come on, we're trying to have a serious talk.
Okay, right.
I told Phoebe and Bitsy that it was all my idea because I didn't want Cecily to get busted.
But see, we were in this from the start 50-50, and if he's guilty, then I'm equally...
Wait, what's the worst that can happen if Big Head Harvey proves that we're guilty here?
The worst that can happen is you can both end up in prison.
Do they do co-ed? Because I could deal with that.
You're not going to do nothing. You're going to go home and be quiet. I'm going to go ahead and plead guilty, okay?
Well, that's the gentlemanly thing to do, but I wouldn't suggest that as one of your options, Nico. You see, with your prior prison record, the judge may feel he's duty-bound to give you a nice stiff sentence.
Well, see, this isn't fair because this was my idea.
Oh, you didn't hear that.
I've had my selective memory switch on this whole conversation.
What can we do about this? Can't the law be bent or reinterpreted or
First
something?
thing I want to do is get a copy of the charges against you. Then maybe I can advise you a little better. In the meantime, I want you to promise me, that you don't try to solve this problem with some crazy scheme. Well, Sally got out of here just in time. Well, it's a family reunion.
I'm the alibi.
I see.
It's time, I'm afraid.
So soon?
I made a couple of purchases at the boutique to cover our story, but if we don't go now, Phoebe's going to send out the bloodhounds.
Sometimes I think you're the luckiest person in the world. You don't have any family to persecute you.
Wait, I got family. My loving and legal wife.
Cecily, Tempest Fugit. Tempest Fugit.
I got you into this. I'll get you out.
She would have done anything to get your father back.
Oh, so none of this has been real.
Fighting is what she knew best. And she had guts. She'd give anything to win. This time, it just didn't work out. She hated to lose.
You are not describing my mother. That is not the woman that I grew up with. That is not the woman that I know.
Well, maybe the woman who you knew was the woman she wanted to be. If the world had treated her differently. She had ambitions. She had dreams. But when things went sour, she couldn't tolerate it. Sometimes it seemed as though she was hell-bent on something. No! Right. Look, I know it's hard for you to hear this, but it's the truth. You gotta face up to it and accept it. And then you forget it forever. Son?
On General Hospital.
I'm sorry, Frisco.
Frisco is arrested, and Colton forces Felicia to decide.
Since you're being a lord and master now, is there anything else?
If those papers aren't signed, then that will be the only proof that I need that you never intended to divorce Frisco in the first place.
Now, she loves me, and I know she does. That's the only thing I have to live for.
Has Felicia made her decision?
You still love me, don't you? I see it in your eyes.
General Hospital.
How much? How much did he pay you to back up his lies?
What did you tell him?
I told him the truth.
Is it still too tough to accept?
Impossible, because it's not the truth.
David, I would never lie to you.
Well, that's safe to say now because my mother's dead. And she can't defend herself.
Kid, she went off the deep end. It happens.
Get out of my way.
Running away won't change the truth.
I don't accept your truth, and I don't want to be in the same room as you, so get out.
Fine. I understand your pain, but I'm not going to put with any more of your attacks, all right? Do you think I would be part of slandering someone I once loved? I thought you knew me.
I thought that I knew you, too.
Then call the police. They have all the proof that what I said to you is the truth. Talk to Lainey.
Melanie?
Yes, she was in the hospital with Natalie. And saw Mother and Natalie together.
Kid's as hard-headed as his old...
What he's going through is your fault. Because you've never thought of anyone but yourself.
Now, these buildings here, they're your basic housing units for the homeless. And in back, there's a trailer park, just in case we need temporary housing.
Boy, you thought of everything. I can't believe it. I mean, even the playground. What is this this long building here?
Now, that's really terrific. I mean, I made a deal with Consolidated Mall so they could put in a mini mall on the base of the building. For the people in the neighborhood, they need someplace to shop, don't they?
You know what? The rents that we make from these stores can also go to offset the low rents of the housing units. How did you learn about Consolidated Malls? I never heard of them.
I never heard of them either until they contacted me. But they're a good company. It's a sound operation. They're financially good.
You know what? You are wonderful. I could not have undertaken this without you.
Brooke, if you're free for lunch.
Why don't you try knocking?
I didn't realize there was a secret meeting going on here.
It's not a secret meeting. It's private. I'll speak to you later.
Fine. So, what's so urgent?
We have business to discuss.
Nothing that can't wait until you speak to your daughter. Didn't you see her note? She left it on your desk.
Oh, yes, I saw it. But what I have to say to you is very important, and
You can tell Sky to come into my office.
Brooke, whatever is on her mind can wait.
I don't think so. You can use my office.
Brooke.
He just got here. Thanks. Daddy?
Oh. Well, I saw your note. What can I do for you?
Nothing. I just wanted to come by in person and let you know that I'm leaving Pine Valley.
You for a vacation?
No, this is not a vacation, Daddy. I'm leaving town for good.
I'm sorry. I wish the baby was awake. I would have loved for you to meet him.
It's not necessary.
Oh, yeah, I guess he would be kind of in the way, wouldn't he? Please, sit down, please.
Tell me, Mrs. Chandler, does the child nap regularly at this time?
No. Sometimes he goes down after lunch, but, it really varies from day to day.
Well, I can have him on a strict schedule before you know it. Oh, these are some of my references. Keep them to read at your leisure.
Thank you very much. See, the agency really didn't tell me that much. Excuse me, Donald is out, so I'm gonna have to get that myself. Excuse me. Ted!
Good afternoon, madam. Is your husband at home?
No,
Excellent.
Adam's at
That's
Temple.
Mambo.
Ted,
What's with the librarian?
I am interviewing a baby nanny.
She looks full grown to me. Why? You hate the idea of a nanny?
Well, maybe I don't anymore. Okay, can you visit some other time?
No, honey, you need me right now. Because believe it or not, private investigators are excellent judges of character.
No.
No. Listen. I've got a built-in lie detector, and I've got the baby's best interest at heart. Please.
All right, okay, just for a little while, okay? It's only because she scares me a little bit.
Lead on.
Mrs. Tarquin. Hi, I would like you to meet a friend of mine. This is Ted Martin. Ted Martin, this is Mrs. Tarquin.
Delighted.
How do you do?
You mind if I join in?
I hope you don't mind. Ted, I think, probably cares about the baby just as much as I do. I hope you don't mind. Okay, great. Well, there were some more questions I had for you. Feedings. I wanted to ask you about feedings. Sometimes the baby wakes up in the middle of the night, you know, crying for his bottle.
A few nights of just letting him cry will break him of that.
Excuse me. Did you use the words break him? Break?
Yes. Demand feeding is not desirable, Mr. Martin. A baby needs to adjust to the adult schedule, not the other way around.
Oh, well, you kind of might have a hard time with my husband, see, because one peep out of that baby and he's up there picking him up and rocking him.
That is naughty of Daddy. But I can break him of these bad habits.
How about potty training? The baby, not Daddy.
Ted.
Sorry.
The sooner the better. Start early and firmly. One of the problems with our society is children who have no self-discipline.
And I suppose thumb-sucking is right out.
Absolutely.
You're a real Mary Poppins, aren't you?
I beg your pardon?
Ted, Mrs. Tarquin, I want to thank you so much for coming by. And I've got your references. I will give them a good read-over, okay? Thank you.
Very well.
The door. I'll show you the door.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
How interesting. A Nazi with a bra.
Thank you so much, Mr. Martin. I needed her.
You do not need her. She's a walking nightmare. Her underwear clanks when she walks. She probably buys her lingerie from a spot welder.
Well, I cannot raise this baby by myself.
Yes,
Not right
you
now.
can. You're a wonderful mother. You're a loving mother. You're everything a baby needs. Believe me, my mother knows, and she told me so. Besides, the whole nanny thing, that was Adam's idea, right? Okay, so you're a little depressed, you're a little nervous, you forgot a few things. It's no big deal.
Yes, it is a big deal, okay? Because I am sick. I cannot trust myself.
You are not sick, and you can trust yourself absolutely. And I can prove it. Yeah. I've got a surefire test to prove that you're playing with a full deck and your elevator goes all the way to the top. And if you pass, you have to agree to forget about all this unstable stuff, okay? Will you do it?
I'll try anything.
Ladies and gentlemen, the first psychological test.
What in the world?
Wyatt, I'm on a roll. Have a seat. You're pleased to notice that on this tray there are 10 varied and distinctive items. Yeah, oops, there was one. We have the button, we have the snapshot, the pacifier, the paperclip, the postcard, the hairbrett, the spoon, the keys, the pen, and my favorite, the screw, okay? Now, I want you to study this very carefully and commit this to memory, okay? You got it? Yeah, okay, cool. That's enough. Close your eyes.
Ted.
Close your eyes now, please. Okay, now.
What are you doing?
Never mind. Please to open your baby blues. Now, I want you to tell me how many objects are missing from the tray.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. There's 3. There's 3.
Yeah,
3.
this is a case of smartness here, you see? You're doing very well on the math portion of our test. Now, please to tell me which items are missing.
Which items are missing?
You have 10 seconds.
The pen's gone.
Starting now.
And,
Dun, dun.
the button.
Dun, dun, dun. She's doing very well, folks. Dun, dun.
The screw.
Dun.
This is the
Yes,
screw's
the
not
screw, my favorite. It's missing. Yeah. You see, you passed this part of the test. You're doing very, very well. You have excellent recall and you have amazing visual perception. Okay, now you can keep the canned poodle meat that you've already won, or you can go for door number 2 by telling me what is the third verse of the national anthem, otherwise known as the Star-Spangled Banner.
The third verse?
Yeah, okay, it's big at ball games. Da, 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 da.
I'm confused. And where's that band who so vauntingly swore amid the havoc of war and the battle's confusion? Is that it?
That's amazing. See, that's amazing, because to me it was a trick question. I didn't know there was a third verse of the Star-Spangled Banner. So you're probably right, because there's nobody else in the country that could contest you on it. So, what's my phone number?
Phone number,
Quick. Don't think about it that hard. Come on.
555-7406.
Very, very good. What'd you have for breakfast yesterday?
Yesterday I had breakfast, I had cold Chinese food and chocolate milk.
That's disgusting. Really?
Yeah.
I may throw up. Does the whole house eat like that?
No, just me. I had to sneak it when Mrs. Schindler wasn't looking.
I'll bet. How cute. Well, you passed the test.
I did?
Yes. Mrs. Chandler, congratulations. You are 100% okay. You're peachy keen. Your memory is completely fine. Absolutely in place. You're playing with everything. All the cookies are there, you know?
You believe that?
Yeah, completely. Listen. I mean, if you're a little depressed and upset, maybe it's because you don't have enough fun in your life.
Oh.
But you're all together up here.
Well, that's great. That's great. You know what that means? That means I don't have to get a nanny. Oh, I hope Adam will like that.
Go for it, Mom.
So I'm a complete failure as a father, is that it?
Well, that's for you to decide. I'm still trying to figure out what it is that I did as a daughter.
Oh, I'm glad you accept some responsibility for this relationship.
Some, not all. It's a very big step for me.
What is that supposed to mean?
When I first came to Pine Valley, I had all of these fantasies and illusions of how perfect everything would be when we were reunited. I guess that all of my expectations were totally unreasonable. I just came out of nowhere and dumped them all in your lap. I can see that now.
I was delighted to find you again. To have you back in my life.
Yes, but in order for me to be close to you, I had to make myself a part of you. I tried to do everything I could to please you, but you didn't care. So I started to act up to try and get your attention. I even dated men you hated, but you didn't seem to notice.
You know what this is? It's jealousy, Sky. That's all it is. It's a case of sibling rivalry.
All of this that I'm saying to you, and that's all you can get out of it. Daddy, you don't love me any more than you love your son. How can I be jealous of a little boy who's going to go through his entire life jumping through hoops to please you and be blaming himself for all the loneliness he feels?
Adam Jr. will not be lonely.
Yes, he will. He will, because he's not a person to you. His only value to you is that he's your heir. A living memorial to your name. I don't think that you know how to love, only control. I have to get away from you to find out if I can love or be loved.
Sky, I love you. Come on. Let's just start over.
It's too late.
No, it's not too late. You're my firstborn.
I need you.
I know you need me. More than you know. I'm one of the few people in your life who never wanted your money. Only your love and your recognition.
Sky.
Goodbye, Daddy.
I'm sorry. I thought I heard you both leave.
Just Sky.
Well, listen, use my office. I'll see that you're not interrupted.
Brooke, would you wait just a minute? Please.
Honey, baby, doll, when are we getting out of here?
Oh, that's a question for your doctor, Mr. Dillon. But I'll bet you'll be kicking up your heels by the weekend.
You bet.
See ya.
Soon, soon. Why are you hanging around here?
I'm trying hard to remember that you were once a trusted friend.
Forgot your back wasn't covered. Don't blame me. Besides, I was here when it counted. Natalie's still alive.
You would have acted earlier, no one would have died.
Don't give me a break.
What was it between Marissa and you, huh? What did she promise you for you to jump into the plot in the first place?
She made sure I had a lot of money.
I thought mercenaries were fighting wars between nations. Since when did they hire on to break up families?
Well, spare me all this self-righteous claptrap.
Fine. I'm going to try to rebuild my life, if I can. I don't want you around.
Jeremy, I'm not getting out of town before sundown. You can't close the door on your past that easily.
Watch me.
I missed you.
Oh, we tagged along to keep her company. Can we come in?
Well,
I know that we should have called first.
No. It's okay.
We want you to know how sorry we are about your mother.
Thanks.
Everybody sends you their love, David.
Hey, Ron Paul, when my mom died, I got real messed up, and I know nobody clues into the pain, but I'm sorry.
Thanks.
Lots of people want to come and see you.
I am not in the mood to talk to a lot of people.
Why don't I go get us something to drink?
Yeah, good idea.
Yeah, sure. There are a lot of sodas in the fridge. Help yourselves. I'd like to talk to Melanie for a second.
Over here?
Yeah, that door.
How are you doing?
Better?
David.
Did you tell the police that my mother was with Natalie at the hospital?
Well, I told them the truth. I mean, they questioned me. And she had Natalie kind of in front of her.
Did you actually see a gun in my mother's hand?
No. And I never said that I did. Look, I'm sorry.
It's okay. Why don't you go in there and get a soda? I gotta make a private call.
Okay.
I'll be right there.
David. I love you.
Thanks.
have a love affair, however tawdry, is never easy, darling. I should know.
Mr. Holder has drawn up the divorce papers for you, dear.
You two don't waste any time, do you?
Well, signing divorce papers is like tearing off a Band-Aid. It's best done quickly.
Absolutely. Once the divorce is in the courts, then justice will prevail. Now, darling, the club and its assets will revert to you.
And Nico will be left with nothing, except the debts, if they exist.
Do I get the money?
Yes, of course, darling.
With no strings?
No strings. You can do whatever you want. I won't say a word.
Well, I guess I could look them over.
Cecily?
Well, Uncle Langley, a girl has to consider all her options.
Well, of course she does. Here's a pen for you, dear.
Thank you, Aunt Phoebe.
You're going to be very well-heeled, young lady.
I'll say.
And, darling, once this is all behind us, you'll be free to meet a man who's more suitable to your lifestyle. I mean, one who comes from our world, who understands our values.
Oh, no, Mother, I never intend to get emotionally involved again. I mean, Sean was bad enough, but with Nico, I've really hit the old-time sleazdom low. It's too humiliating, and I'd like to thank you for showing me the evidence. Nico's a crook and an adulterer, and I can forgive almost anything, but not cheating on me.
I understand so well.
I know you do. I know you do, and I'd like to thank you both for trying to protect me.
Yes, thank goodness you've come to your senses now. Here, you sign right here, darling. Right there.
Well, let's do it.
All right, there's my brave girl.
Go on, sign it, my dear.
One thing, though. If I do sign, you will drop the criminal charges against Nico.
You just now said yourself he's a crook.
Well, I do have a little bit of pride left, and just to see him in court and having to admit that I have been taken in again, I'm sorry, but I just can't do it.
Yes, it'd be such a scandal. TV and newspapers are so horrid.
My name, our names being dragged through the mud. I'm sorry, but I just can't face that. I can't.
Oh, there,
Well, now, the most important thing is the divorce.
Well, yes, but I do hate the thought of being fodder for the tabloid.
I would be willing to settle for the divorce.
Good. Yes, I think that would be sufficient.
Go on. Sign, my dear.
Good riddance to you, Nico Kelly.
Oh, that's great. We're not set up for tonight. Fantastic.
Come on, Nico. Give it a rest. You got hours yet. In any case, I want to talk to you.
All right.
For once and for all, would you tell me what the hell it is that's bothering you?
Life, man. Isn't that enough?
Life?
Yeah, life.
Well, I feel sorry for you, babe. Yeah, you got the hottest club in town. You got one of the hottest babes in town as your ball and chain. In the meantime, I haven't got an office. I'm living at home with my mother, and the woman I'm in love with is married to another guy. Don't expect me to feel sympathy for your complaints.
Yeah, you got a lot of troubles, don't you? You want to hear my troubles?
Sure.
I might go to prison for fraud, man.
Fraud?
Yeah, it's funny. Isn't that funny? Fraud.
Okay, Nico, I'll bite. What did you do? Well, maybe you don't want to tell me.
No, that's
It's
fine.
so
I mean,
serious.
once it hits the papers, everybody's going to know anyway, so you might as well be the first in the block. I married Cecily for a trust fund. I lied all the way to the bank.
You stink. How the hell could you do that to somebody's life?
Get yourself a job.
No, wait a minute. Don't walk away from me. Enough with the attitude, because if what you're telling me is true, then compared to you, Adam Chandler is a prince among men.
You better watch
No,
out.
what about Cecily? I know, Cecily. What about Cecily? How could you do that to somebody as nice as her, huh?
Well, from what I hear, you've done a lot worse than marry somebody just for money.
What is that supposed to mean?
Didn't you sleep with somebody's mother and her daughter?
No, wait. Joe, whoa.
What?
Wait a minute. I told you that in strictest confidence, okay? That has nothing to do with the situation.
And you were also paid to go out with somebody's daughter. That's low,
No. Now you're being deluded. You're being really deluded here, okay? That has nothing to do with marriages. There were extenuating circumstances.
Well, those extenuating circumstances apply here, too. So back off before you get hurt.
I can't back off. I was your best man. You realize that spiritually that makes me an accessory to fraud?
Well, you better shut up before you wind up in prison with me, Cupcakes.
Whoa, wait a minute. I'm not wearing house coat for you or anybody else.
I'll
Don't walk away from me. Come here.
Shut up.
I want to use the phone anyway. Give me the...
I think it's a good move for Sky. She needs to make a break with everything here.
With me, you mean?
I mean, it's time for her to be out on her own.
I'm not ready to lose her.
It's always hardest on parents when their children grow up and leave, but what you have to do is think about what's best for her before your own needs.
It's easier said than done, isn't it? I know you're right, I know that. I've had a rather difficult year. All my own fault, I'm sure, but I wanted everything, or too much. And now I've lost you and my only daughter.
Sky is only going to New York, and I'm sure once she gets herself settled, she will think of you differently. Flawed, but not evil.
Well, if you can still say that after everything we've been through, I guess there's hope.
Excuse me. Brooke English.
Hey, Brooke, Ross, brace yourself for bad news.
Ross, what happened?
Well, it seems our attorney screwed up on the housing deal. Do you remember I told you about Consolidated Malls being a subsidiary of Apex?
Yes.
Well, it seems Adam bought Apex last week. He's the one who's putting in the mini-mall. It's interesting.
Fascinating.
He engineered the whole thing.
Listen, Ross, I'll talk to you later, all right? Poor Adam. Poor, manipulative, scheming, rotten Adam.
Whoa, wait a minute, what happened?
You are Apex.
Well, I thought you'd be pleased.
Pleased?
Yes, think of all the poor, homeless people who would benefit from our collaboration.
No, you are such a devious son of a...
Oh, I don't understand why you're so angry. I just wanted to be near you. Is that a crime?
I wish it were a crime, because if it were, I would have you put away.
Oh, come on, please, don't be angry. I just wanted things to be the way they used to be. Is that so hard to understand?
If you love pizza but hate the calories, Wednesday on the Home Show we'll have healthy gourmet pizzas and the latest in consumer products, including disposable hair dryers for travel. This is Rob Weller. Join us Wednesday.
Tomorrow night, Ben seeks out Carol's advice rather than going to Big Brother Mike on growing pains.
Max's place. Oh, hi, boss. Oh, yeah, let me write it down. Hang on.
Brenda?
Hi, Dan. Sit down.
So, you're sounding pretty desperate, calling me, wanting me to come here and meet you?
Well, it's been a pretty desperate day. I mean, with Gabrielle and now Larry.
We had another fight with them over the baby?
Yeah, and over you. And I know I told you that I wasn't going to get you involved in this thing, and I told Larry that you weren't going to help me anymore either.
And what's changed all that?
I know a way to prove that Garrick is my son. Now, it might wind me up in jail, Dan.